All right, so for those of you watching this video that are not here with our golf class, what we're doing is we're working on impact position. And what we're going to talk about is making solid contact and what is really happening and what we want to have happen. So this is a video of Rory McIlroy. So if you look at that television up there, his ball is sitting on the ground, right? Whenever you see a player hit a shot off the ground, almost every time, see the dirt flying there? There's a divot, right? Well, he's hitting the ground. He's hitting the ground after he hits the ball. If he hit the ground before the ball, he would end up making less than solid contact. Okay? So what I'm saying here is we need to swing the club, and as we swing the club, there will be a low point to the golf swing. Right? The low point, we want it to always be after the ball. Make sense? Okay. So he swings the club in a circle, and there's a low point after the ball. So let's take a look at that real quick. I'm going to put a line here in a sec right behind the ball so we can remember where the back of the ball was. So have we seen dirt fly yet? But we can see the ball made contact, the club made contact with the ball. And there goes the ball, and we can see now, even though it's a little bit blurry, we can see that the club is penetrating into the turf. So the low end is ahead of the ball, right? So when we look at his setup, notice how I'm putting a line right there in the center of his chest. That's where his sternum is at setup. See how much farther forward it has moved to at impact? He's way up here. Right? And notice how the club is bottoming out after impact. I think it's actually still on the ground. At that point, he's still coming through a little bit. All right? He's not trying to hit down on the ball. What happens is when we swing the club in a circle, there's a low point somewhere, and we just want the low point to be ahead of the ball. And you know what? If the low point is right on the ball, not too bad. If the low point's a teeny bit behind the ball, you might catch it a little bit heavy, a little bit grass first. Not too bad. What we really want to avoid is the contact, or the situation where the low end of the swing is well behind the ball. So question for somebody besides Lee, right? What would make somebody bottom out behind the ball back here? Why would they do that? And because a lot of people do it. Any idea? Right, but there's a reason why people tend to do it. There's something they're trying to accomplish. They want to hit the ball, and they want to hit the ball in the air. So intuitively, we all would think, oh, if I want to lift the ball in the air, I got to get under it and lift it. Right? But the problem with that is since there's ground underneath the ball, you can't do it. But when you practice and you put the ball on a tee, oh, now you can do that. But we can't really use a tee very often in golf, right? Only when we're teeing off. So that's part of the problem. So when we see somebody who's, trying to get better at golf, a lot of times we'll see them try to hit up on the ball. Now remember outside when I talked about my sternum? Which direction would my sternum move if I wanted to raise the ball up in the air if I'm trying to get under it and lift it? It would move back. It would go the wrong way. So if Rory here was trying to get under the ball and lift it, his sternum would be back here at impact. Okay? Not forward the way it is. Okay. All right. So that's pretty important, is being able to get your weight moving to your front side. But there's something else also. I see people all the time moving their weight forward and they're still trying to hit up on the ball. So what's happening with those people is they're having trouble with how their hands are working. We call it their lever system, right? So do you see Rory's setup position, where his shaft is, where his hands are? Can you see his hands are a little bit ahead of the ball? At impact, do we expect to see the shaft leaning that way, or do we expect to see the shaft leaning more this way? Right. Or maybe it'll even be that way, since we know his sternum is moving forward, that would mean his left shoulder will move forward too, which would make his lever more like that last green line. Let's look. See that? So good players are moving weight to their front foot, and they're striking the ball. They're swinging the club with their arms. Look at this nice long lever. People that are not playing to their potential, what they're doing is they are in a position where at impact, instead of their hands being forward like that, they look more like this at impact, with their hands back this way. I'm sorry, I did that wrong. At impact, they're more scoopy with their wrists, and I'll show you what I mean there. Okay, so we know what we're looking for here, right? Jamie, here's you. Ready? So see when you get back down, see your club is, excuse me, the butt end of your club is already at the ball, and your hands are going to be leading. This is what we want. That's on the way to really good golf. Okay? Really good. Now, what's happening is I told you to go ahead and exaggerate it a little bit so you can see how you're not really allowing the club to swing naturally because you're kind of forcing your hands ahead a little bit, but that's what I asked you to do for the drill. So good. All right, Edward. So when we look at this, we can see see that there's a pretty good angle right there. This is probably going to be pretty good. Good. See, the hands are leading that club head through impact. Now your swing, you're not exaggerating quite as much as the other guys are there, Edward, but that looks really good. And see, at the end, you're kind of exaggerating a little bit. Good. And now Andrew. Very, very good. Okay? So again, this is our fundamentals golf class, but what we're teaching here is the difference between ball striking, which is what you guys are doing, and scooping, which is what we don't ever want to do. All right? And it's a lot easier to learn this. Number one, it's easier for you guys to do it if you do it slowly. Number two is when you do it slowly like this, I can stand and watch you and give you better feedback as to what's happening. All right? So we're going to go back out there. We're going to work on this. You know, this is going to be the primary thing we're going to do the rest of class. But we're going to really work on the types of shots we're going to hit from here are going to be, you think, high or low? Low. Now you could scoop it and skull it and hit it really low. So that's kind of tough. There's always like two answers to the question. But yeah, we're going to hit low driving type shots, but we're not going to try to take huge.
Be sure to check out our YouTube channel for more instructional videos.